Welcome to the Made for Business show, where Catholic moms come to learn how to create financial freedom for their families. I'm Sterling Jakewith, and today on episode 11, I'm going to be talking about 5 lessons I learned from 2021. And I learned probably a lot more lessons than that, but I really wanted to boil it down to the 5 that I felt would help you guys the most. So, lesson number 1. God's voice never rushes us. God's voice never rushes us. There were so many times this year where I just felt this pull, this frantic energy, this like hustle energy. And really it was coming from some form of scarcity. So it was usually either fear of not hitting a goal or fear of missing out. So I would set an annual goal, but I also set monthly goals. And I don't rigorously pay attention to monthly goals. Like I don't have a lot of emotion tied up into whether I hit my monthly goals or not, because I know that a lot of businesses make most of their money in the fourth quarter. And so, I have them to keep on track, but if I don't hit them, I'm not devastated. But still, there's a psychological thing about having a goal and not hitting it that makes you feel like, oh, I gotta do something to make more money. And so when I would have this feeling of being rushed, like something was wrong, like I wasn't doing something fast enough, that's when I would think, oh, I need to create an extra program. I need to create an extra product. And here's the thing that I want to share with you guys. Those programs, they would have been good. They would have been good. They would have been Catholic. They would have helped women. If I had made those programs, you would have said, that was amazing. But it wasn't the right thing to do in my business then. It was not what God was asking me to do, because God's voice never rushes us. He never shakes your shoulders and says, you need to create this thing that you weren't thinking about right away. It's never how it feels. When God wants us to do something, and it may be an about face, right? It may be like a 180, something we weren't planning on doing. His voice feels convicting, but it's a strong, quiet move to action, right? It's that Joan of Arc, like I was born to do this, and you step into doing it. It does not feel rushed. So thinking I wasn't going to hit a goal and wanting to throw something out there to create more money so that I hit the goal so I don't feel like a failure, that was one form that rushing showed up. The other form was when I would see someone else do something fabulous. It might be someone else's Facebook ad. It might be a killer email. It might be a whole program. And I would think, oh no, that work is so good. I need to figure out how to do work like that. And it would show up in one of 2 ways. It would either be, oh, that ad was so great, I need to go learn how to do ads. But then it would feel like this fast, hustly, scared thing. Or it would be someone that was doing something related to me, either coaching or business. And I would think, oh, I have to create something like that. Otherwise, all my clients are going to go work with her. And so I would feel rushed. But God's voice never rushes us. That is not how we make good business decisions. And it just came up so many times this year. And sometimes I gave into it and did the thing that I don't think God was asking me to do. And sometimes I caught myself and I stopped. But I learned the lesson enough times, and praise be to God, He never lets us fail a test. He just lets us take it over and over again. Now I'm just like, oh, whenever I feel that feeling, I stop. I have decided that I am a woman who does not rush. God's voice never asks me to do that. So now it's just such a red flag. I almost feel that feeling in the color of red, like, and my brain catches it. I'm like, whoa, Sterling, what's going on? What are you scared of? That's the question I ask myself. What are you scared of? And then I just follow it until I find the answer. I do self-coaching on that. Okay, so that was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 was I don't need to feel excited. I think for so many years as a sanguine, I would think of a new idea and get really excited about it. And I would use that feeling to fuel getting a lot of the work done. And so my brain thinks that that is a necessary part of getting things done. But often I'll tell you, as sanguines will also share, when we burn a lot of energy and excitement at the front end of a project, we often run out of energy and motivation or willpower. And then we don't work on the project in the middle, and then we freak out, procrastinate, leave it to the end, and then pull it out at the very last minute. So that has been a common cycle for me for my whole life. And I stopped doing that a little bit last year, but a lot of it this year. And what that looks like for me now is I just pray and I set really reasonable goals that make sense for my business and my team and my clients. And then I execute them. And it doesn't feel exciting. And at first I thought that something was wrong, that if I didn't feel bubbly and exciting, that I wasn't doing it right or wasn't in love with my idea. And now I just see that I can make goals and I can create work from a place of being calm. And in fact, I think that's a wonderful way to do it. And so now I just tell my brain when I feel calm in the goal setting process, hey, this is what we want. We wanted peace. We wanted self-control. And excitement isn't bad, but the way I was using it wasn't serving me. So that was lesson number 2. I don't need to feel excited. Lesson number 3, I really liked this one. Keep things simple and holy. I think I had this idea, particularly in our membership. I had this idea that we have to keep adding new things because they're paying every month. So we have to keep adding new things all the time. And here's the thing. Your clients do not pay you for features. And in fact, when a client comes in and sees too much stuff, they often get overwhelmed. And so I would just kind of force myself to say, what can I edit out? How can I keep this simple? And partly this came from watching some other women do business with 1 or 2 offers, and they only offer them a few times a year, and it was incredibly simple. And I thought, wow, I want a business like that. And I think the business side is going to look like that. And the membership is still pretty simple. Larissa and I are always editing out things we've done so that when you come in, you just see only a few things and exactly what you need. And we say, hey, watch this first and then do one more thing. Don't look at everything. Don't go down that rabbit hole. You can't do everything in there. And so we're always editing and keeping it simple. And then the other thing that I challenge myself to do is to keep things holy and to keep Jesus at the center of it. I was praying once early in the year and I asked the Lord, how he wanted me to do business. And I really felt like he told me, keep me in the center. And so when I am making something, I pray before, I pray during, and I pray after. And when I'm done creating a product, like a course or, a PDF workbook or something like that, I ask myself, can I put Jesus in there in a bigger way? And I don't think Jesus has to be in every product, right? He's in you and you're creating it so it's touched by God. But, maybe you're teaching, I don't know, literally everything you guys right now that's coming to my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I would put Jesus in that. But maybe what I'm saying is not everything needs Bible verses. But I do that a lot. I put Bible verses or saint quotes into things and I talk about God and how this relates to God. And that has been a real guiding value for me in my business. Keep things simple and holy. And I think that's how Mary would run her business. Like, I think if God asked Mary to run a business, she's so, first of all, she would say yes, because she always does. But she's so humble. I was like, how would Mary run a business? But she would keep it simple and she would just make sure Jesus was at the center and she would just trust that her clients would come. So she would do the work, right? But it would be a quiet, peaceful work and it would be simple and holy. So that was lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, my clients love working with me. And, I went through this in two different phases. First, it was last year when I became a life coach. There's like, I don't know, am I good at it? Are they going to like me? And then, and I always knew I was going to do this, I transitioned to business coaching. And all that same startup business stuff happened again. Are they going to like me? Am I good at this? And those questions, they just don't serve us at all. They just create doubt and fear, and they make us want to go back into the cave and hide. So instead, I just remember, oh, you know what? My clients, they love working with me. My business clients, I can tell they love saying, hey, you're my coach. And they love saying, my coach told me. I think my life coaching clients felt that way too. Like they were just so proud to have a coach and to have me as their coach. And that we had such a strong relationship together. And so whenever I feel doubt or I'm not sure, where I'm going to find people or what kind of people I'm going to find, I just remember, oh, I'm going to find the ones who love me. Maybe they like that I like dogs. Maybe they like that I have a bucket of kids. Maybe they like that I'm not really into kids that much. Maybe they like that I write books or I'm a public speaker or that I enjoy drinking tea and I don't watch a lot of television. Like, who knows what it is about me that they really like, but they really like me. I don't have to worry about that. I don't even have to think about whether they like me or not because 100% of my clients really like me. And your clients will really like you too. And then when we come from that place, we're just like, I got to go find those ladies. And I'll tell you something. I really like my clients. I really like them. I have not yet worked with someone that I didn't really like, that I didn't look forward to coaching. I'm just like, oh, what's she doing? What's she up to? And it was always really hard for me when my life coaching clients, when I stopped working with them, because I only worked with them for 3 months. I didn't offer to people the opportunity to keep going. And I was just really sad. And even now, I'll be like, what are they doing? How are their kids? How was the wedding? Whatever things were going on in their life. And I enjoy this feeling. I enjoy being in this place where I think of how much I like them. I think of how much they like me. It's so yummy. And I just want to go find more women like that. And I think that makes marketing and writing emails a whole lot more fun. Lesson number 5. My job is to sharpen my saw. So I talk about this in the Launch to 10K workbook that's in Masters. If you guys are not in Masters, you should do that just for that workbook. It's amazing. It's totally worth $49. And one of the sections is called Skills. And I mentioned Cal Newport's book, So Good They Can't Ignore You. And I talk about how your job is to work on your craft, right? So for me, my craft is being a good coach and learning sales and marketing and managing a team. So that last one doesn't come until you need that last one to come. But even though I'm a pretty good coach, I'm never going to stop learning about coaching. I'm reading a book right now on trauma and little t trauma. So not the trauma that you need a therapist to heal, but like little t trauma so that I can help my clients process that and move through it. It's amazing. And I've got 10 more books lined up. And I just keep reading books and taking notes. That's my job, is to sharpen my saw. And then I'm reading books about sales and marketing. I would do that even if I wasn't a business coach because that is the craft of any business owner, sales and marketing. Now, I do it even more because I'm going to create programs around teaching you guys sales and marketing. So I probably take more notes. I think that would be the difference. Like if you were reading a book like Story Brand or Be Different, then, you'd be taking notes for your own business. I'm taking notes for everyone's business. And I took a workshop with Brooke Castillo and she talked about this concept of idea babies. I loved it. And she was like, listen, all of us are starting by learning other people's work. And the way we make it our own is we create idea babies. So you read a book and you find a bunch of ideas, and maybe 2 books, maybe 5 books, and then you put 2 ideas together and you make a new idea. And then it's your idea. And for me, one of the things that I do is I take a business idea and then a Catholic idea and mix those 2 things together. And then it's an idea baby. And I love that. And I want to give you guys all permission to do that, because I think when you're starting out, you feel like you don't have any original content. You're just kind of echoing other people's content. But I want to tell you that's what everyone does. Everyone echoes other people's content. But the way you make it your own is you create an idea baby by smushing 2 ideas together. And so I knew this before. I knew the sharpen my saw thing. That's a Abraham Lincoln concept, right? So it's pretty old. But what I did differently this year was I put that time on my calendar. I put the sharpen my saw stuff on my calendar and I made it a priority. And the other thing I did was when I would feel sad in my business, and I'm a melancholic and I probably struggle more on the side of depression than anxiety, where I just get low. Instead of even engaging in the reasons for why I would feel low, I would just go sharpen my saw. And that work would give me energy and it would kind of spiral me up. And then I would feel awesome about my business again. Now, what made me feel awesome about my business? Was it working? No. What causes our feelings? Our thoughts. So working put me into a space where I changed my thinking. And then it made me feel better. So I love identifying tools that change my thinking that cause me to feel better. I'm not confused that the tools made me feel better. Does that make sense? I really want you guys to understand that. But there are activities that you kind of just give yourself permission through to change your thinking, and then you feel better. Okay? So let me just say them one more time. These are the 5 lessons. God's voice never rushes. He never does, you guys. He's never going to ask you to do business like that. You don't need to feel excited when you set goals or create new products. You can just do them from a calm sense of knowing and getting it done. Keep things simple and holy. Love that. I think that's how Mary would do business. Your clients love working with you, even if you haven't met any of them yet. They will love working with you. Your job is to sharpen your saw. What is your craft? Make a list of those skills and then schedule time in your calendar each week to work on those skills and to sharpen your craft. All right? I love you. Get to work and have a blessed day.